Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today. It is Chicago's favorite heavyweight, the Midwest Training Center's staple, a man who towers over other heavyweights at 6'6" and 265 pounds. He is coming off of one of the most wicked knockouts I have ever seen in my life in front of a sold-out Chicago crowd. His own was there. I was there cage side, and I am so glad to be sitting down with one of Bellator's top heavyweights, half of the main event of Bellator 293, Mr. the American Predator, Daniel James. Daniel, what's up, man?
What's up? I hit the drum. I like that.
Good to see you, man. Are you excited for this fight? Here you are in the headliner. I love seeing your face up on the poster, man. Is this what you dreamed of when you signed with Bellator?
Actually, yeah, I did. I didn't expect for it to be too soon, but I manifested. I felt it after the last fight. I'm like, you know what? Every fight I have will have to be a main event from now on.
I mean, you should be, right? At this point, you're on a nice win streak. You're coming off of that wicked knockout. People are talking about you, so it's pretty cool to see you headlining. You tell me if you're as surprised as I was, though. You sold half of those tickets in Chicago, man. How the heck they got you flying out by me in California? I figured they're keeping Daniel James headlining Chicago. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, man. I was surprised. I ain't gonna lie, I was surprised, Mike. I was just like, when I got the call from my manager, to text message from my manager, Brian Butler, he was just like, hey, we the main event. I'm like, what? And I'm like, that's crazy. And he was like, where? He was like, we're not fighting in San Jose March 10th. We're going to fight March 31st. I'm like, damn, okay. That's an extra training camp. That's an extra weeks on training camp. So I had to alter everything and just it was actually cool. I took a step back and I kind of reevaluated everything. I'm like, I stepped back and said things about the movie. And then when I realized it was the main event, a week until me knowing about the main event, I was just like, yo, this shit different. It got to go down.
I mean, everything
so I'm excited as
different. Hell yeah, I could tell. Everything seems to be different after that knockout, man. Here you are ranked up in the top 10 amongst, all these legends, Ryan Bader and Czech Congo and Fedor Emelianenko. And there's your name, Daniel James. I mean, what's life been like since this knockout?
Man, it's been well, man. Actually been good. I just feel like, the recognition. I think the recognition, I'm starting to get the recognition that I feel I deserve. But I realize that I earned. That I feel that I earned, and I'm starting to get that recognition and just taking it all in. You know what I'm saying? It's been interview after interview after interview. Just had a film of Mike Sharonowski and them just came out to Chicago on Tuesday last week, and was that Tuesday last week? Well, the 15th. It was the 15th. It came out on the 14th or 15th, and we filmed. We did actually film. We filmed for like 8 hours, man. We started at 8 in the morning. We finished like around 4:30 or something like that.
Oh, they got you working.
So yeah, so we did like I guess it's like a small story of Chicago. He wanted to get a back end on that though. So I appreciate that. I think that right there was like, yo, okay. I felt the company kind of recognizing me a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, I could tell how much they were invested in you. Bellator was invested in you when they put you up on the headliner. I mean, that's a really big deal, for you to be headlining event only in your second Bellator fight. If I'm not mistaken, your second Bellator fight, that's a big deal, man. But you made a big splash, You were originally scheduled to face Davian Franklin. That fight didn't happen. And then you got Tyrell Fortune and landed this, ridiculous one-punch knockout uppercut. Just an epic one. I should tell you, my friend bet a bunch of money on you, bro. He was really happy about that shit.
That's what's up, man. Everybody was telling me, man, it was so funny, Mike, because after the fight, I walked out the interview and had a few of the guys on charge Penton and all those guys from the Bears, and they was like, man, bro, we want money. You know what I'm saying? That they was at the fight, and we kind of connected on social media too since then, and then I was standing. I went to the hotel lobby, man. Like literally, 1,500 people was in the hotel lobby waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? And
I was one of them.
Yeah, man. And I'm looking like, yo, my buddy was like, bro, he say between the bar, between people throughout the night, because I was in the lobby till like 3 in the morning. He's like, man, we had about 1,500 people come through. That's crazy. And then the hotel lobby guy told me like, bro, you probably have about 1,500 people come through this lobby just to say what's up. I said, shit, well, tell the hotel to give me a sniper, right? But no, but
For real.
I had one guy grab me to the side. He said, man, I just gotta tell you something. He said, man, appreciate it. He gave me a handshake and pulled me close and said, you the reason why I'm calling on work tomorrow.
Let's go.
I said, oh, funny. But no, I appreciate all that shit, all that love, man. Chicago, you know how it is, man. Chicago, they either with you or not. And you got to do something to get them with you. And if they with you, you at the end of the day, if they with you, you're still hanging on by a thin thread because you can't do nothing silly to mess over that fan base in Chicago. That's why I make sure my Instagram stay. I keep my Instagram, me being active on my Instagram. Most guys let people operate their social media. I'm looking like, well, you can't do nothing for me for my social media. I'm like, I let the people get to know me. So I respond back to messages. And, I comment on people's stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Those people get the real me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I've only ever seen the real you, Daniel. I mean, you
My
always
man.
keep it real. You've done, community work as far as charity goes. I mean, you're always so open and honest, man. So that comes across obviously. And yeah, when I think of like staple Chicago fighters, because a bunch of guys start in Chicago, they'll move around. I mean, here I am in Huntington Beach. I don't know if I can claim Chicago anymore. You're a
You still
guy
shot
who
town. You still shot town. You still shot
Thank
town.
you, man. Hey, me and Daniel kind of go back, bro. I mean, when did we
Yeah.
first meet? It's been like 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
XFO.
Those early
XFO.
XFO fights. I mean, I remember watching you fight Curtis Blades. Was it Fight Card Entertainment? I
Yeah,
mean,
fight out entertainment. Yeah, it was
you
crazy.
know,
It
I
was
mean,
crazy,
way
man.
back. I've seen amateur Daniel James. Here you
Yeah.
are, at this stage in your career and you're on top of the game. It's a beautiful thing to see, man. But yeah, I was gonna say when I think of Chicago fighters, you got to be number one, bro. I really think the city loves you. So, regardless, you get another first round knockout or whatever happens here. Was it second round? You get another knockout, whatever happens. I think Bellator should bring your ass back to Chicago, where you
Yeah.
have the biggest impact and you bring so much joy to the city, man.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come
Yeah.
out and see you perform. And for whatever reason, at 41 years old right now, you're in your prime. I mean, would you agree with
Yeah.
that? Is this the best Daniel James we've seen?
Yeah, me and Coach just talked about that the other day. He was actually just telling the guys from Bellator, Mike, them, and he telling those guys, he was like, yo, this dude started the sport at a little older age. You know what I'm saying? I started the sport 9 years ago. I've been pro. Well, I did 1 year amateur, and then I've been a pro about 9 years now. So I'm like, I think that was a fast track of what I've done. We have these split up and do those things, and he was telling the guys like he's fighting his best. He fighting his best fights right now. And then I looked at the guy and I told him, I said, hey man, um, I'm actually a better fighter now than I was earlier because like you said, man, I was learning as I went on. I was learning every fight. I learned something. Every time I get in the cage, it's like I ain't know shit about MMA. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I just knew how to box a bit. And then at the end of the day, I just went on, roll with the punches. I just, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to learn how to do that. And every time my fight was over, I went to the gym and worked on what I'm like, okay, well, I guess I need to work on this now. And so I went. I'm a visual guy, and I just learn as I go.
Learn you have, man. It's funny you say that you had the boxing early on, because the thing I'm most impressed with right now is the learning curve with boxing. I feel like your hands specifically are more
Yeah,
dangerous than they've ever been, Daniel.
yeah,
I mean, would you agree with that? I think if,
yeah,
if if I'm training somebody to fight Daniel James, I'm saying don't bang it out with Daniel.
yeah, yeah. That's a smart thing. The thing is, like, um, if I plan on going toe to toe every time I fight, you know what I'm saying? But as far as a guys are super good wrestlers, like Tyrell Fortune was an amazing wrestler. I can't take that from him. You do was an amazing wrestler, and I was comfortable fighting him because I knew he had a boxing background too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? But you as a wrestler, you only get the opportunity to try to go for that shot and do what you do. And if
Yeah.
you don't, I got to get back up because I rely on my gas tank. I make sure my gas tank is up at the part. I'm always willing to get over at one, but I'm always ready for the five. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, so like I want to stand and bang and everything. That's in my field. That's fun to me. Somebody gonna get hit, but the thing is, I ain't got a weak chin. I like to throw back. You know what I'm saying? If I block, I can punch. So
Right.
but you know what I'm saying. But guys want to tie up, small damage. I do a lot of small damage, but like you said, I love standing in the pocket and banging. I love standing on my feet, boxing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always ready to go wherever the fight goes. My ground and pound is my signature, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you could put people to sleep with ground and pound. There's no question about that.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So I actually like that you said the thing about the gas tank. That's so important, especially I think for heavyweights, man. It seemed to me when I watched Marcelo Golm, your next opponent, when I watched him fight Davion Franklin, I saw Davion Franklin slow down, sort of gas out. And that's really where Marcelo Golm started to take that fight over. I wonder if you saw the same thing. And do you
yeah.
think that your cardio will be sort of a weapon here, that it's very necessary to beat a Marcelo Golm? Talk about that matchup for me. And did you watch Davion Franklin, Marcelo Golm?
Yeah, I watched Davion Franklin and Marcelo going fight. I think Davion Franklin was actually winning that fight, and
Yeah.
I just think Davion Franklin his cardio really needs some work. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy got cardio like he smoked cigarettes or something. But I just know I kind of I don't know. I think the guy got asthma or something. You know what I'm saying? But he was winning that fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he came out, and that's the thing with a lot of young fighters. They come out so strong, they step on the gas early, they don't budget their money. And then a guy like Marcelo Golm just waited. You know what I'm saying? He slipped up, just like Tyrell Fortune slipped up on the rear naked choke. Um, Marcelo Golm saw that Devion Franklin was tired, so he started to move forward, and Devion Franklin threw a high kick, wrong thing. Especially a guy that kind of know jujitsu and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? So he grabbed his leg and he got him to the ground, and then he jumped on his neck. So Devion Franklin actually put himself in a bad situation for that fight, which I think he was winning. I thought he was going to win the fight.
I mean, he's like the Jackson Wink standout. I talked to Coach Mike Winklejohn, and Coach Mike Winklejohn was saying, hey, this is the next guy up. Keep your eye on Davion Franklin. And you're right. He was looking good in that fight. He always starts out looking good, but I guess Daniel's right. Hey, Davion, put those cigarettes down, Davion Franklin. Cut it out, man.
Listen, his time coming. He might get a shot later, but right
Right.
now I'm not focused on nobody behind me. Everybody in front of me, that's who got to go.
Right.
And Devion Franklin, he'll get a shot one day, but when he get his shot, he gonna get murdered.
All right, so it's Daniel, the American Predator James versus Marcelo Golm. Daniel, how does this fight go down?
Man, I plan on coming out, doing my thing, man. I plan on having my hand raised at the end of the fifth, at the end of the fight, whether going the first to the second to the third, whatever like that. I'm always ready to go every round, but I plan on being victorious. Also, I plan on just going out, touching him up a little bit, seeing where he at with it. I definitely want to give him the bite to try to move in. I want him to try to move in on me so that I can execute some things and stand him back up and just what I'm saying, just see how strong his chin is. I know he been dropped sometimes, but I don't think he been hit by me before. But at the end of the day, I know that I faced many guys like Marcelo Gomes, but he never faced anybody like me though. I faced guys like him. I faced the Marcelo Gomes before. I faced him, quite a few times, but I don't think he faced me. Somebody that possessed the power I have, well conditioned. Um, I think I'm fast to be a heavyweight, and I throw heavy volume. So I just think that he really should just focus on fighting his fight and come in with a plan to just throw hands.
Throw hands. There you go. Daniel James throwing hands. I mean, throwing hands for the fans in the stands. That's what people like to see, and your hands are
Yeah,
better than ever. When you think about what this win does for you, I mean, if you execute your game plan, if you do throw your hands, you do get Marcelo Golm out of there. Are you going to get on that microphone and call for a title shot?
most definitely. I'm calling. I've been calling for a title shot. Every interview I've done. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a fact that I understand for a fact that where I'm headed, and I know that like Bellator just offered Nathan Vassal the title shot against Ryan Bader. I think that's what I heard. And his last fight, he had a hell of a performance.
That's for
233
sure.
pound guy. He had a hell of a performance, and either he get Ryan Bader out the way. I have Ryan Bader on my radar, but now I got two guys on my radar, so I got to be ready for either or. So after this fight, I definitely plan on letting Scott know that night. Okay, you need to just let me train because I'm gonna fight the winner between that. You know what I'm saying? Or if wherever they fight at, if they fight in June, if they want to bring something like that to Chicago, put me on the co-main event. Let them be the main event. Whoever win that fight, they announce me the title shot right after that night.
Ooh, I love that idea, man. I do love
That'll be
that
the
idea.
fight.
Okay.
That'll be the fight that they need. That'll be the fight for the company. That'll be the fight that they need. At the end of the day, I'm a big ass heavyweight. I'm probably one of the biggest heavyweights on the planet as far as my size and everything like that. I walk around at 280. I cut to 65. I get in the ring at 270, 275. Still feel like myself. And like I said, there's a lot to deal with right now. And Mike, I'm hungry, Mike. I'm hungry.
I could tell. I could tell you're on the top of your game, man. Did you watch Linton Vassel's performance
Yeah.
against Valentin Moldavsky? Were you impressed?
Yeah, man. You know what? I was impressed because I think I met Linton Vassell before somewhere, like I don't know if it was at the top team or anyway, I don't know. He looked familiar with me, but he seemed like a cool guy, I like his energy, I like his personality. I like, kind of like what the guy's standing for right now, how he carry himself, fun and generous and gentle, cool dude. I like to share a cage with somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's not too high on his ego, that just understand the art. Really, really well seasoned. He's 28-3. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like that that has awareness and understand the sport and understand that like, being a veteran in the sport is not about just coming out just going crazy. You have to budget your money through each round and understand how to win. At this point, we at the point now we just got to know how to win. So I
And
like him.
he does a bunch of winning. Yeah, every time I see him, I go, "Big Swarm," and we laugh, man. He's a
Yeah, I
really
like
good
him.
dude. You two are
Yeah,
both just class A human beings, man. Great
yeah.
human beings. So
Yeah,
the battle of the night,
make sure you tag him in his interview too. That's why I gave him his props.
100%, 100%. Yeah, Linton Vassell's the man. So yeah, it was really cool to see that knockout he got. I mean, all the best to
Yeah, that was
Valentin
nice.
Moldavsky. That was an ugly KO, man.
Yeah, it
Whoa.
was nice. Fit. I like seeing a big fit guy that can perform. Not a big fit guy that's just big. You know what I'm saying? Like me being a big guy, I'm a big fit guy, but I can perform. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of big guys that just as big, but like I like that guy because he's a big guy and perform. That's a guy that I feel that if we went at it, yeah, we might be going the distance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, just because I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun fight just to get in there just like that.
That would be an incredible fight, and like I said, the fight against the two nicest heavyweights. So all the best to both of you, man. Yeah, Linton's a problem. Yeah, I think he kind of did earn the title shot. That makes sense. But Daniel,
Yeah,
you're
I
right
think
up
he
there,
did.
and here you are main eventing. I mean, he can't say the same thing. He wasn't headlining that event. Here you are headlining in Temecula in 2 weeks. I feel like you're right up there at the top as well. So,
Yeah,
I know you're not looking ahead past Marcelo Golm. I know that for sure. But
yeah.
tell me what you think about how you match up with the champion, Ryan Bader, if you got that title shot after this. Do you like that fight with Ryan Bader?
I love that fight. Right, that's the fight I want. Like I don't know what Bellator waiting on. I understand. No disrespect to the festival guy. Then no disrespect to you, baby. But after this magnificent finish, man, Scott gonna have to reconsider that, man. He gonna have to really be like, yo, is that Lynn fight and Ryan Bader fight gonna sell like that Daniel James and Ryan Bader fight? I'm just looking from a business standpoint, and I'm looking at the fact that like I'm literally gonna be your champ. So you need to just be like, yo, let's get Daniel James on that main event right now. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryan Bader beat Lynn before in the ground and pound. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me be the fresh meat. Let me test him. Ryan Bader ain't never fought nobody this big, this strong, this powerful, and fast, and move good on his feet like that. Like, I'm not worried about him in a takedown. I'm not worried about his wrestling or anything like that. Kudos, respect to his wrestling, but that shit is like, I see that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think me personally, I think Tyrell Fortune the best wrestler for the company right now. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? And I just think Scott Coker, all those guys in the upper office need this. Like, yo, fuck that. Let's get Damian James on this title shot right now. They're gonna make the money. They're gonna sell the crowd out. The ring is gonna sell out. Whatever they charge on their tickets, they're gonna sell. Like, they come to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming. I'm not being arrogant, Mike. You know, it's just
no,
like
of course not. Of course not. No, I mean, hey, you've earned this, man. You've earned this spot, and I like what you said there, because even though you're at this stage in your career where you have more experience than everybody else, you are sort of fresh meat to the Bellator heavyweight division. You know, you are this new name that nobody's matched up with, and everybody's wondering what those fights would look like. It makes a lot of sense to give you that shot, especially since from what people have seen from you. Now, I've seen a lot more, but what people have seen from you, they're like, what is this guy capable of? You know, I mean, that's really the question. That's really the question people have on their minds. And man, Daniel James versus Ryan Bader headlining in Chicago. I mean, you know, I'm sold. I'm sold. Take my money.
June. Give me that in June. When I finish this, I'm trying to listen. Be honest with you, Mike. I'm trying to finish this fight in the first round so I can go to training camp. If I finish this fight in the first round, Coca, June. Let's do it. Listen, I understand that Vasil just knocked out Mogoski. It's okay. Let him fight me after I defend it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think, you know, you don't jump the gun too fast. Understand where the market is headed. And right now, I'm going to be the market. I'm going to be the market at 41 years old. I'm going to be the market healthy. I'm going to be the market ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. Ryan Bader is, you know, after I fight Ryan Bader, he's definitely will retire after that fight when I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, he will. You know what I'm saying? So let's get the ball rolling with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop waiting and playing around with these other guys that's been around for a while. Let's get the real thing going. Let's get the fight that everybody will want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Goosebumps, bro. Goosebumps. I gotta see it. And Ryan Bader, by the way, I mean, another very accomplished heavyweight, a guy who I've got a ton of respect for, a guy who's been nice enough to come on my show as well. All the best to him, but come on, man, that's a great fight.
Yeah, I respect Ryan Bader. I've watched Ryan Bader. I've watched Ryan Bader. Probably watched every fight he ever had. Every fight. Like, I'm literally I was a Fedor fan, a Ryan Bader fan. You know what I'm saying? All them guys that fought from UFC to Bellator, UFC. I've watched all those heavyweights, all those guys when they was light heavy, when they was heavy. I watched every fight these guys had, and you know what I'm saying. And I respect Ryan Bader a lot. You know what I'm saying. But we're colleagues now. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, Daniel. I want to see that shit. All right. I'm pumped. I'm excited. So, is Twista coming to this fight in 2 weeks?
Man, I don't know. Knowing him, he probably pop up. It is in California. You know what I'm saying?
He likes California?
Yeah, Twista all over the place. He just had an event the other day with his gun camp. But yeah, Twista all over the place. Twista get up and travel. Twista love what I'm doing right now, man. He's been like really supportive of shit. And I just feel the energy coming back. And everything that I did when I was on the road, just being around him, seeing how he moved with his team, seeing how he moved with his management, how he moved, his PR, just see how he was carrying himself as an artist, and how he just still remained relevant and do his thing now. And like, I learned a lot from that business aspect. So I kind of treated the MMA business, the MMA fight scene as a business. That's what it's supposed to be. I didn't want to just be the fighter. I wanted to be Dane James, an athlete. I want to be the biggest combat athlete from Chicago, whether you fight in UFC, boxing, whatever you do. But I know that, like, when people talk about MMA in Chicago, they talk about Dane James. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that they're going to see walking through the mall, you know what I'm saying, running to one of the local restaurants, stop and holler at their son or daughter, like, how they doing, see what's going on with them in school, things like that. Like, I'm that guy. I'm going to make friends. I'm going to communicate. I'm not gonna be pushed away or hide away from people. You know what I'm saying? So I took a lot from Twista from his whole success, and I think he see that right now. Like he always saying, "Man, I'm just happy to see you execute your dream the way you done and just stuck with it." So if he come out there, man, that'd be a great. But knowing him, he might be out there. You know what I'm saying? Twista, that's one of those guys. Last minute, I'm gonna pop up. I'm out here, D. You know what I'm saying?
It was so fun shooting that video with him. For people who don't know, Twista, the fastest rapper, very, very popular rapper, is good friends with Daniel. Daniel's been his bodyguard for a long time. And we shot a cool video with Detroit
Man,
Dust over in
that's so crazy.
Chicago, where Detroit Dust was showing you some crazy stuff, man. I mean, he was showing you some stuff where you hear Sean Strickland and all these UFC fighters say, that stuff doesn't work,
No,
and
that shit do work. I used it in a fight on Tyrell Fortune. It worked. When I was in a
that's
rear naked
crazy to
choke,
me.
when I was in a rear naked choke, and I got out the rear naked choke, when I put my hand back and put it under his nose and pushed his nose back, I learned that shit in the hallway when we was playing around. Me, you, and Detroit Dustin was playing around. I learned that in the hallway. I'm like, man, that shit worked. When he took me down to the ground, Detroit took me down to the ground. We was in the back and laughing. I'm like, this shit is crazy. I'm like, man, let me just try. And I'm like, this shit just worked. For me, at least.
I know. So you see it on Instagram and you think like, this is some kung fu nonsense. I don't know. This wouldn't really work. It looks good in a movie. But then he actually did it to you, where he's pushing up under your nose and
Yeah,
sort
that
of,
was fun.
gets you out of position. And if I understand correctly, that is how you got out of Tyrell Fortune's rear naked strangle.
Yeah. I pushed his nose back and then I pushed I popped my hip so I could just twist. Even though I was sacrificing my neck, I knew he was on my neck a bit. But I'm like, shit, when he got to my neck, I'm like, let me push his nose back and get some wrist control. And I turned around and man, but I ain't gonna lie, the next day I woke up the next day, my throat was hurting so bad I felt like I had COVID. Say, damn, that boy had a big ass arm around my throat like that. Really?
Incredible watching that highlight back of you pushing his nose up. I mean, just what an incredible sequence of events that all came together. Literally, Detroit Dust affected your Bellator fight with Tyrell
Yeah.
Fortune. I mean, isn't it crazy how the world works like that?
It's crazy how the real world. And that just because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a guy that wouldn't have learned anything. I learned something from anybody. I look at a dummy and learn how to not to be dumb, not to do something dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, you touch the fire, don't touch that fire, you're gonna get burned. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta just watch things. If you look at things, you judge it, and you're like, oh, I'm like, okay, let me just try that. You saw it, put my hand on the gun. I'm like, this might hurt my thumb, I leave my thumb alone, I gotta fight tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But it worked. But I had man, listen, that was one of my highlights of the fight though. I had a blast kicking with you guys, especially kicking with you, Mike, you know what I'm saying, doing that video and knowing that you saw me. You saw me start from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So out of everybody that was there that night, it was, you know what I'm saying, it was really cool to have you there because I'm like, damn, just to see you working with Bellator and doing this media stuff with him and I'm like, damn, I know him. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So that was like one of the highlights of my fight career, period.
Oh my
Sharing,
God, that's so sweet of you to say, man. Yeah, what a cool moment to be hanging out with you guys, and just how it all came together, Daniel. The best
yeah,
performance I've ever seen you have, and of course, it was on the biggest stage you've ever been on. So yeah, I truly
yeah.
have seen you start from the bottom, and now you're here.
Yes, sir. Started from the bottom. Now here, I like that. Drake should have made that song after me. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful,
So
man. Daniel, I
yeah,
won't
man.
keep you all day, but let me get a little hype from Daniel James for fans who are interested in tuning into this fight. The headliner of Bellator 293 in Temecula, California, Daniel the American Predator James is taking on Marcelo Golm. Daniel, why should fans tune in to see this fight?
Man, fans. I can't tell you why you should tune in. I can't tell you when you should tune in, but I can tell you that night, March 31st, you need to tune in and see your boy get on because at the end of the day, I tell everybody, it's a heavyweight division. Keep your hands up and don't blink. because anything can happen at night. You know what I'm saying? So come out, watch us. Temecula, California, Patinga Casino and Resort is going down on Showtime. It's Showtime at Showtime.
Tune in on Showtime if you guys can't be there live. One of the nicest human beings on earth, Chicago's own, from the streets of Chicago to the headliners on Showtime around the world, the American Predator, Daniel James. So good to see you, my friend. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks, man. Yep, most definitely, Mike. Appreciate you, man. And Mike, just for a note, for those people that's not following you on my IG yet, they need to start playing and go ahead and type in Daniel James _Predator and see what's going on and see what I'm posting. I'm posting real content. I'm not posting the fake. I'm posting what I do on a daily basis, just in the gym, training, being around people. So if you want to follow greatness, or you want to follow some positivity, follow that. Maybe you'll find some motivation through that page too. So Daniel James _Predator, and shout out to my sponsors, All Meal Prep, Winnie T Mushrooms, my management team, Sucker Punch Entertainment, and my training staff, my training coaches, Coach Alex Hilo, Reyes Hurtado, Dan Mikey Barnaby, you know what I'm talking about, Mike, and my boy Ed Carpenter, man. So we'll be down there ready to invade Temecula. So yes, sir. I'll see you soon, Mike.
Hey, looking forward to it, man. Yeah, there's his tag right down there underneath Daniel's James, at Daniel James _Predator. Check him out. And, man, it's so good to have you on the show. It won't be the last time, my friend. Thank you, Daniel.
Most definitely, man. All right, Mike, take it easy.
You too.